There's a lot of satire in this video. It's not meant to be serious. Us woodworkers love to overcomplicate things and, use all our fancy tools and stuff. Happy Halloween, everybody. So for the first thing you gotta do with this project is you need to source your materials. So you obviously need a pumpkin. A lot of your big box stores will carry pumpkins, but you might find it best to source your material from like a local pumpkin patch or something, because we all know how the quality of big box stores goes. I went ahead and got mine from a big box store. A lot of places will try to recommend you use these kind of tools. We don't need those. We're not going to be using them. You won't need your wood glue. Now, you probably won't need a tape measure, but we're woodworkers, so we like to keep those nearby. We'll keep an eye on that. You might be fancy and use a template. We're not going to do that. I have gone ahead and put a face on this fellow already. We'll get started. So first things first, carve your pumpkin from the bottom. That way, you had a screw in there. Carve your pumpkin from the bottom, so as your pumpkin begins to deteriorate, your top won't fall inside. It'll just melt on top of this thing. So you want to start with a pilot hole, because you want to prevent tear out and all that sort of stuff. That pilot hole will be for our jigsaw to go in. Remember, your hearing protection is a must. Now you'll take your pumpkin, and using that pilot hole you get the jigsaw in there and just cut in a circle. Wait for your saw to stop. Feed that to your pets. Now you can use whatever you have handy to pry this out. There we go. You could keep your seeds, throw them in your yard, grow some pumpkins for next year. You need all this glop off of here, so I suggest taking your very best chisel and you just pare away at it. Now I have pretty cheap chisels, but I recommend if you got high dollar kind of chisels to use those instead, because those will probably get the job done much faster. Have a trash can nearby. Now unfortunately, on this type of material, orbit sander probably isn't going to be super effective. I've tried. See how a razor sharp chisel just goes through there. Okay, I think that looks good for the bottom, so you set that to the side, and you got to get the glop out. You could use your chisels. You could use just whatever you have on hand. I'm going to go old school and just dive in with my hands, so that might take a minute, so I will get back with y'all when this guy is home. Now, it does seem a bit overkill, but be sure to wear your respirator when you're doing this, because it smells good, but you will die. You'll know that it's starting to affect you if you start getting a really strong urge to go to Starbucks. Right, now I'm ready to start carving the face out. Now you could use a jigsaw. I think it's a little bit more aggressive. I think a coping saw would be great, but a coping saw isn't going to work either, so I'm going to use this coping saw blade. Whatever you do, don't be tempted to use the pumpkin carving kits. You're a woodworker. Insert the blade carefully. Now, I guess in some cases it's acceptable to use a smaller blade. This is a pretty common procedure, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll show you all how to properly do a cleanup when you're done. We got the rough face cut out, but there's still work that needs to be done. You're not done yet. Again, get your very best chisel. Cheap ones won't work. People will know if you use cheap tools on a project, believe me. You just want to pare away and do your necessary cleanup work on your cuts. And you might think that you don't want to use your very best chisels because the pumpkin, the moisture and water and juices in the pumpkin might make your tools all nasty, but it'll just condition them and make them better. This is the part that all the hand tool woodworkers like the best because you really got to be one with your material, just in the silence of your own shop, just, you know, chiseling away. This is why you do it from the bottom. And with that, we got a finished pumpkin. I hope you enjoyed what you learned. If you liked and enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to this channel too. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.